Gossip, the dark side of communication. So, what does gossip really mean?
Gossiping is when someone talks badly about someone else when they're not there.
A group of people are talking about another individual behind his or her back.
I think to gossip means to talk about other people in like a positive or negative way without including the person you're talking about.
Gossip is the communication regarding a certain party without that party being present.
Spreading rumors about other people?
It's just like the norm now because we do it whether we like know we're doing it or not. Like it's just so embedded in the way that we converse with other people. Like it's hard to like think gossiping is bad because you know yourself that you do it and everyone else does it.
So I feel like with gossip, immediately it makes me think about high school, very immature, it's toxic. But if you think about it, gossip is always happening, unfortunately. We're always talking about someone behind their back. We're always, telling little secrets, making fun of someone else. It's not healthy.
In finding a good definition of how to define gossip, I chose two more broad definitions. First, gossip is broadly evaluative talk between two or more people, comfortably acquainted between each other about an absent third party they are both at least acquainted with. Two, talk or rumor especially about the personal or private affairs of others. Private, personal, immature, mean, rumor, false, toxic, annoying. These are just some of the many associated ideas with gossip. Gossip can come in so many forms and has been a part of history since at least dating back to the 16th century. It's to be noted that a majority of my findings only focus on women. With that being said, social scientists found we gossip a lot as a social behavior. In one case study, 65 to 80% of our speaking time is spent on social topics. In the 1980s, there were studies conducted on why we gossip. Psychologists proposed that it helps maintain our social bonds, but it didn't take into account the effect it did have on people. In Johnson's article, I found that we're highly motivated to feel a part of something, especially a group sharing information. Women are often left feeling empowered and more popular after telling gossip. Most of the time, gossip is involving talk about personal facts in someone's life, and usually something they'd like to consider keeping private. Those affiliated with those doing the gossip leave the person out. This leads to ways in which we exclude one another, causing harmful emotions. It becomes a way of boosting your own view of yourself by bringing down someone else through possibly their insecurities or flaws. It begins to break a sense of trust between family, friends, and coworkers. In being ostracized or excluded, it can be painful and distressing. According to a survey study, some subjects report distress and depression when ostracized. As human, we have a deep need for social belonging, and data shows that we suffer psychologically and maybe even physically without it. Over time, technology has made it much easier to spread gossip in a more effective and quick way. We no longer seek out to have exclusive conversations in the hallway or in the locker rooms when we can simply just start a group chat. With things like email, chat rooms, websites, and social medias, people find it so much easier to turn cyber gossip into cyberbullying. Many people associate gossip with cyberbullying now because it leads to it. Being able to post anonymously opens the door to blogs and comments, just like in my following illustrations. What has gossip done to you? We've all usually partaken in gossip whether we want to admit it or not, but it can cause damage to people's self-esteem and even their reputation. Taking from the classic 1950s I Love Lucy, there is a specific episode in which Lucy takes on a bet to withhold from gossiping. Lucy hears information on the phone and wants to tell Ethel. Now, in the infamous 2000 show Gossip Girl, the stars are gossiped about through an anonymous blog which tells the dirty truths of each person. So it goes to show that gossip doesn't have to be false information, and it usually isn't. In this show, gossip is spread within seconds as each person is notified on their phone once a blog is posted. In those 50 years, technology has changed the game.
Gossip affected me personally when I was in high school. I used to go to a private high school, Orange Lutheran, for my first 2 years. I did not come from a very affluent, rich family, which I'm not ashamed of at all, but that was just the reality that we had. And so my clothes were different, I looked different, and so I had a small group of friends, and there was a dance coming up, and I really wanted to ask one of my friends to the dance, but I wasn't very sure, because I wasn't sure if he felt the same way as I felt towards him. So eventually, as the dance got closer, I came to find that my small group of friends had a secret group chat, and he was the one that was kind of instigating, and he was saying like things about the way I looked. And one thing that really got me was something I'm really insecure about is my nose, and they were just saying, like, calling me mean names, like Big Bird or something like that, just because of my nose. It sounds really silly, but I don't know, it was really hurtful, and it just really got to my self-esteem.
Take your own action. You can confront the person by asking them to respect your privacy, because unfortunately you can't assume it's for their ears only. So first you need that reassurance before you share anything. Be selective in who you confide in. It's important to feel comfortable opening up to someone. It's smart to share small pieces of information until you feel fully capable of trusting someone. Also, don't hesitate to talk to a counselor or professor. These people are here to help you and encourage you. It's also important to be cautious of how we talk to others. How many times have we damaged a friendship because we repeated something we shouldn't have? So it's smart to ask yourself, do they want this shared with others, and is it my business to share it? Finally, being more informed about information in general for gossip is super important, and making more people aware of it. Peace Enforcement has a website which focuses on how gossip is often misdirected anger, a way of avoiding intimacy, or a lack of awareness. Along with their recordings and letters, they also have a phone number and email that will try to respond within 48 hours. I've sat in this class for specifically about 15 weeks now. I originally went into this class believing I communicated pretty well. And I'm currently coming out of this class knowing that I can communicate better. I've taken away some amazing tips and thoughts in how we need to do more. We need to say more, verbally, non-verbally, and everything in between. In my advice on Tools for Change, I realized everything goes back to communication. It's so crucial that we are able to take the I language method to express how we feel, because what if they have no idea how much you're hurting inside? I used to gossip all the time in high school, usually meaningless talk. I was one of those gossipers, and I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. I didn't lie or exaggerate the truth, but I realized that it's not my business. It's private facts about someone's life, and if they wanted to share it with others, they would. I think it does break the respect for someone's privacy, and after doing more research on this topic, I got even more frustrated. So many people brush gossip off as something that's just going to happen in middle school and high school. And maybe people with high self-esteem can just probably dismiss it, but what if they can't? What about those boys and girls who already feel so insecure about themselves, and when they hear it, it just makes it worse? I picked this topic because I've been the gossiper and the victim, and it's not okay. Just talking about problems helps relieve some of the pain, anxiety, and tension that it does cause. I don't think people take gossip as a serious issue when compared to suicide or rape. I admit they're on completely different spectrums, but gossiping can still hurt people enough to lead them to dark places.